We have a healthy Sheets and Bobby Fi on a minutes limit. He's fighting through it. He barely cleared concussion protocol, so to speak. So we don't know what kind of workload we can expect, but we didn't have to call anybody up from the practice squad. So, listen, he's gonna be low owned today. That's the good news. But that's all I have to say about the health of Bobby Fi. But I guess what we could say is that if his physical status isn't so great, maybe it's like something will go off in his brain that'll just give us the winners tonight. I guess that'll be the.
I hope so.
I did a whole thing earlier, just doing like lineup construction stuff, because what's happened is I've become like pretty like addicted to these small slate type of things, like showdowns and 2-game slates and stuff like that. And my comment was, I thought was pretty on point with this slate, because it's really has two countervailing forces. One is my desire to be unique on a 2-game slate, right? To get unique, to get different or whatever. But the problem is that you have like this playoffs scenario sort of where people are, from what I hear, are going to be playing like all their guys that are trying to win. And in those situations is not very conducive to off the board things happening. So I don't know. And so I was putting it to it. I'm like, well, what's going to win out in my head? Is it going to be the rational on the right side of the shoulder saying, listen, you got to really just, be kind of normal and make good plays, or the left side where like you're freaking addicted to this uniqueness thing? And unfortunately, Bobby, like addiction always beats rationality. So I'm probably going to end up doing that. But I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but that's going to be the plan, I think.
Right. I think that, I think that there is a few places you can try to get different tonight.
Ooh, okay.
So it's not going to be super low owned, but remember, Trey Lyles came back and this was his first matchup. He played 27 minutes the last time they played the Pelicans, because the size in the front court the Kings have outside of Sabonis, you're going to have Valanciunas and Zion out there for a ton of minutes. You need some size, and he's really the only guy who sort of offers that for them. Even Keegan Murray doesn't quite match up physically with Zion. Like, it just doesn't quite work, So I think you could see more of him. I don't know that it's like going to be totally low owned, but I think it'll be in the teens of ownership probably. And the really large long shot play, we don't know if he'll play a minute. It's possible he doesn't. But you put together a team in Sacramento, again, you're going to be playing 3 guards most of the time. There's a reasonable chance Alvarado could get in there, and this is the kind of matchup where he could go crazy. Like, crazy for him, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 10 points. And if you can get 25 out of Alvarado, I'm just thinking these are that's the long shot play that first occurred to me when I thought, okay, if I'm trying to get different, what's a guy who may not get on the court, but legitimately could play 24 minutes and is awesome point per minute in the better game environment.
I'm gonna rerun stuff, but for those who were here for my early video stuff, they saw that I'm doing both showdown slates too. And in that game, I have a decent amount of Alvarado at the captain. So let's go.
Okay, I love it.
let's go.
Yeah.
Well, because he's so cheap, you can get everything else in that you want.
And the problem is like,
there's plenty of problems.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is straight up Pritchard is probably like a better play,
right?
But there's definitely ways where he gets there and Pritchard doesn't. Like, you know what I mean? It's not.
I got plenty of him in the captain too. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. I figured
between Pritchard, Lyles in the captain, Horford in the captain. I mean, in that other game, oh yeah, we got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and it should be kind of fun to see what kind of game environments they play, like what it looks like, tonight. I do think you're going to see the starters out there most of the time, a lot more minutes. But the thing with a guy like Alvarado is, at times he's a closer for them in the past. With this current construction, probably not playing over any of their current starting 5, but there's a way. Also, Trey Murphy's back, which hurts him, but I like Trey Murphy, by the way, as another speculative play. I think one of those 2 guys is a good way to go.
I just so you guys know, I know if anybody even knows, I didn't update the sheet since I did it earlier. I don't know if there's going to be much different, but unless there's been some scratch today, which I doubt, right? Like these guys that were showing up as like kind of like high owned, like bad value, were guys like I had like Aaron Neesmith was going to be like 40% owned.
Yeah.
Because there's just nothing else. You know what I mean? I had Sam Hauser, 40% owned.
Right.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with that.
Well, I'm okay. I mean, personally, like I think those are both fine regular plays. I understand trying to fade them. I just don't exactly know who else you're playing. You know,
Right.
That's the problem. I think, but yeah, the complete the great matchup for New Orleans and the fact that they finally have everybody back is going to keep them as the lowest owned of I think all the teams today. And I would probably just try to be a little bit overexposed to that. It's a great matchup. Like I said, there's a lot of volatility with guys like Murphy and Alvarado, but there's also plenty of upside in this matchup.
Now it's not possible. And these ownerships are like atrocious. These are from earlier. I had like Sabonis like 10%, and like McCollum at like 6%. It's not happening, right? Okay.
I don't think that's happening. I think McCollum is. I think the best. I think the best spend up on the slate is Halliburton.
Yeah,
and it's hard to get to him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All these guys are like tough to get to.
Right. So maybe Sabonis ends up in the teens somewhere. I don't think he's going to be unowned by any means, but he's a reasonable play. I just personally prefer the Halliburton angle on this one. Even it's crazy because it's a terrible matchup, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this is just what he does, and like my old theory, like I want the guys in the toughest matchups because that's when they need it. You know what I mean? When they're the 6 or 7 point dog and a thing that they really care about, that they're going to lean on Halliburton like crazy. Nick is asking about JaVale McGee interest. I think you could mix him in. I didn't go there. I like the Lyles play better. They're much more comfortable with Lyles in general. And even Vezenkov. So I don't know if McGee's going to make it on the court tonight, but hey, it's the kind of matchup where it could happen for sure. And I don't think it's a terrible idea. I like the money line, Jimmy. Jimmy said he bet the Pacers money line. I like the Pacers for what it's worth tonight as well. I don't really know why I do, but I do, and I really like the Pelicans.
I'll pay it, but that's not shit.
Oh my God! Look at this. I have enforcement legal action against me. Oh God, this is notice of violation of impending legal action for unpaid toll.
What?
Yeah. So we have the Easy Pass. I guess it must not have. Let's see.
I hate that.
You have not responded to the other toll bill requesting payment. What do you mean? I have a. Okay.
Be careful for scams. I've been scammed a bunch of times
I know.
with that stuff.
Oh, this is new. Oh, I'm so happy. Like every once in a while we get these.
It's my car, but
It's your car.
where do I take a toll?
It's a good question. Well, we gotta pull it up, right? That's what happens. We get these camera things, and they send videos of like running red lights and stuff like that. And the big sweat here is when they come to see whose fault it was, like whether it's my car or Stacy's car.
Yeah.
So you play the video and you see who is driving. But this one is like a toll. Very interesting. $222 due immediately.
Oh, geez. 222. That's my lucky thing.
Oh my God! The toll was $11, and the violation fee is $100.
Oh my God.
We are definitely going to be disputing this. All right. So for those of you who care, the hockey is now up. All right. So let's do a. I should probably update the projections if I was really smart, but let's see what a Saberson build would look like, again, just for fun.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do that. It's just going to be the. It's not going to be my projections from earlier. It's going to be the Saberson projections from now. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably better.
Mm-hmm.
And then later I'll put my own up there. Okay, so let's reset these. Well, I'm just curious how close my original ones are to what they are now anyway. Let's actually look at these are pretty close to what they are now. So I could probably just roll with this. Najee Marshall. I'm looking at the real cheapos. Who am I missing? Like there's like a 1 point projection for TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody that's asking about JaVale McGee, right?
Yeah.
Delano Banton 3 points. I was getting in Showdown some of the Nemius Keita.
Oh, really?
Showdown, man. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rebuild.
I think TJ McConnell is like, if you're going to take a dart, like that's another place you could throw it,
Yeah, why not, right?
There's a possibility.
All right.
Rank Boston plays. I'm happy to do that. I'll do my part of it.
But remember, guys, like especially on a slate like this, where the pricing is so tight, where the value's like no good. It's ranking plays is weird because you have to be able to play them.
Right.
Like you have to be able to play them with other decent plays instead of like saying, okay, well I think Tatum's a great Halliburton's a great play. Can I play him? No. I'm not saying that's the case, but
right. But like Halliburton and Tatum are both terrific plays in my opinion, but like you can't really just do that.
do you have a preference between the two of them? How about that?
I have Halliburton as a priority over Tatum,
Okay.
but I also have Jaylen Brown rated really high and Derek White followed by Drew Holiday. I think they're all great plays, and I think Al Horford is right there behind them. So you're probably playing 3 Bostons, I'm guessing, on a lot of your lineups, especially because the price of Holiday and White are affordable, and Horford and Hauser as well, and Pritchard for that matter.
Right.
And they really may just play those guys. Like that's on the table at least. I also expect to see a little bit more condensed rotation from Indiana tonight. I thought it was going to be a cool off the board play, which it's really not. It's not projecting all that well either. But I like the Mathurin idea. Unfortunately, it's going to be owned.
It's hard to, isn't it hard? It's hard to play like 40 minutes at Indiana's pace, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why they play so many guys in general, but they also really care about winning this.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like 500,000 a man, right, or something
to win the thing. Yeah, but also it's like Halliburton went on a whole thing about it in his press conference, saying, "Look, I've never won anything because I didn't win a high school title, I didn't win a thing. He goes, I've won. He's like, I've been on the best AAU teams in the world. I've been on the best high schools in the world. I've had chances, but I've never won a thing in my life. So I'm dying to win this thing. Like he's in for it,
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Indy, I would rank it Halliburton 1 for me, Bruce Brown 2. Actually, Bruce Brown is probably 1 just because of the price. Aaron Nesmith would probably be 3rd for me just because of the price. And then I would go to Turner. I'm sorry, then I would go to Mathurin, then Turner. And Obi's obviously in play. It's just I think I'd rather play Nesmith. Also, you get a little Nesmith revenge against Boston. Why not?
Yeah, just if you look at the just the regular using the sheets and then into the contest sims and all that, the top owned guy is actually Miles Turner.
Yeah,
which is not surprising. He's rates as the top point per dollar play, so big spread.
Right.
But Derek White, Bruce Brown, so basically middling.
Yeah, it's interesting because the 2 highest owned center plays, even though Horford's power forward eligible also, but both Turner and Horford have a range of outcomes for sure in general. So it's if you wanted to try and fade both those guys, I think it's kind of interesting. If you wanted to play Sabonis, like you said, it's going to be low owned. I think it's an interesting way to go. I don't love it myself, but I definitely it's like tournament strategy wise, it makes a lot of sense.
Which one?
Sabonis.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last 2-game slate where they paid anything for first, Mr. Bobby chopped that. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's true. Well, we'll see about the 100% Alvarado if that pays off for me.
There you go. Was that in the last game?
Was that?
Is that the later game?
Yeah, I can always do that. Yeah. There's options. I have my clock set. I'm not playing many big tournaments or anything because I don't feel very well, but I'm going to do my best. I thought I had the Jordan flu walk off going for a minute yesterday, Sheets. I thought I was gonna. It was beautiful for a while. I was in first of both of the 100K for first and the other power.
Did you make money?
No, I ended up like breaking even.
Because I played some of your stuff. Maybe the stuff I played won. I don't know.
It was weird. Like there was some really good the lineups. They just faded. Like there just wasn't quite enough. Or like I had Deontay Johnson. I'm sorry, I had what's his name, George Pickens, and he had like 12 in the first quarter and literally didn't have a target after that. Like because the quarterback got hurt. It was just like weird.
And the game, the weather, that was a crazy game.
But I had like the Laporta one-off, which was beautiful at 5% ownership. I had the A-Chain in that lineup, and in both of those lineups, actually, I had A-Chain. And that he was 5%, 6% owned or whatever. He was, I think, the highest scoring running back.
I had like 30th in one of the Millie Maker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a Nakua and with Nico Collins.
You got very unlucky with the Nakua.
No, he came back, though.
Yeah, but he was not the same.
Right.
They switched from using Cooper Kupp as a decoy to him as a decoy.
Right.
And I played all the Kyron Williams and ignored the receivers because I knew Cooper Kupp wasn't healthy. But Kyron Williams was fine, but he didn't have the big game I was hoping for.
And then we'll talk about this another time, but the weird thing about lineup construction and stuff like that. So as you guys know, I played 0% Tyreek Hill, and I played 85% Zach Moss. Tyreek Hill scored 30 fantasy points, and Zach Moss scored 7. And Zach Moss was in all the winning lineups, and Tyreek Hill was in 0.
Except for the on the
there were a couple of
in the Wildcat, I think.
Right, but that's an interesting thing. You know what I mean? Because remember what there were a couple of scenarios that you can get different, right? So my idea was that if you play Zach Moss, then you just got to find your wide receivers that could be Tyreek Hill. Now
Right.
again, Tyreek Hill made it hard by scoring 30, but the fact is that there were guys that put up freaking numbers, like Nakua and Collins, and there were guys that put up numbers there. So it was an interesting approach.
I think I would have done really well yesterday if I scripted because, and not to say again like he was in the winning lineups, the Zach Moss, because he was played so much, but I would have gone. I mean, that was my thing. I said I'm not playing Zach Moss in this. My one take that I really just juiced up. Well, two of them were just really killed. They didn't kill me, but I forced in more Breece Hall than I was getting, and I chopped off like 15% of the Falcon exposure, like both, and they ended up scoring 17 points. So not that it cost me 6 figures or anything like that, but yeah, it's just frustrating.
Yeah. And then, like you said, Laporta was just awesome.
Yeah,
he was just great. And I'll tell you who else is really great. Freaking Jordan Love is a freaking good quarterback.
He's been playing really well. I was impressed. But I really liked that Indy game yesterday, and that's where I had a lot of my money. I just couldn't get the downs play, and I wish I had done the single stack. If I just did the single stack, I think there's a good chance I win all those sweeps because I have all of my other plays. I pretty much nailed it. But on to this. Do you want to talk about the football tonight?
What I'd rather do is probably wait, but
that's fine with me. Whatever you want.
Yeah, I'd rather wait till 7:30, so I can get this NBA stuff done.
Yeah.
And then come back if you wouldn't mind. Are you be around?
I don't know if I can. My son's getting back, and he wants to have like an early dinner with me. So,
K or the other?
K. Yeah. So he had to go down to the doctor himself today. So
okay.
Getting back, so we're gonna catch up a little bit. But we were gonna do that 7:30, but I can always do it a little later.
Yeah. So listen, I advise everybody. I mean, you pick your own risk tolerance for the NBA tonight. I told you I'm gonna be doing like low ownership stuff and just the type of stupid stuff that I do. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to do that, I mean, there are good plays you can make. I really do think the better plays are going to be the ones that don't play the studs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe like you said, maybe you are supposed to play one of them and just eat it with kind of like the bad value and just have the combination of the
that becomes the question with Halliburton and Tatum combined for 120. Are you playing with a couple of fives? You know,
Right.
can you get through on a 2-gamer? And sometimes you can, you know, with 1-5 anyway. Maybe one get 118 or something out of that, one of those G plays. But that's sort of, I think, and I think that's the right way to try to win a tournament. I don't think that it's the best. Like if you're building a cash game lineup, I wouldn't play either of those guys. You know, I don't think they'd be in consideration for me because I just think you'd have to go middle of the road. But that's what literally everybody's going to do. I think play the Trey Lyles, take some Alvarado shots, take some shots on play some Trey Murphy. Play all of the play one of those New Orleans fringier plays because one of them is going to get there. One of Alvarado, Murphy, probably not Dyson Day, but maybe or Hawkins, and they're just going to have zero ownership. And look, if anybody who's watched Jordan Hawkins play, if he steps on the court, there's a chance that he may not leave because he might literally make like 10 threes in a row. Like he can really shoot it, and he will shoot every single time.
Right. So you know what I'm going to do? So I'm going to I have to enter the NBA stuff. I have to do the hockey stuff too. I'm going to come back at 7:30 and go through the football. If you're around, cool.
I'm going to try to make it back. I'm going to say I will give my one football take. I love Evan Ingram as a captain tonight.
There you go.
So there's something.
There was one inactive that I had to look at. That this backup tight end for Jacksonville. I had to see if he was in the. There's some $200 guy or whatever, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But that's all I got. So I'll be back at 7:30.
All right. Sounds good, man. Good luck tonight, everybody.
Keep it going or no?
What's that?
Should I keep the stream going or no?
No, we can turn it off. I don't have a whole bunch. If there's any questions, hit me up in Discord, guys.